Um, let me make sure that everything is all set up. Wait for a few people to get in here. Let me see. Hey, what's up? How's everybody doing? If you're just now joining in. I'm getting all of the stuff set up here. All right. So I don't know if anybody's going to join in because the last few live streams I did, I don't think I got anybody that came in. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to assume nobody's going to come and go ahead and talk about what I was going to talk about. So in the last video that I did, I actually left off a really, really important point, and this is kind of like life-changing information here, but as you already know, I am a sociologist. If you've been following the channel, I'm also, of course, a musician. I have 5 degrees, including sociology, behavioral science, economics, accounting, business, and teaching. And been studying sociology, psychology, behavioral science since I've been a little kid, basically. Pretty cool story about how I got into that. But essentially, sociology is my hobby. And so, but I love helping others and helping save the time from having to go through some of the stuff that I had to go through. So essentially, one of the things that I left out of the last video is if you have gone through a relationship with someone that was very unhealthy, let's say a narcissist, a manipulator, or somebody along those lines, the important thing to keep in mind is if you are craving deep down like a family and a perfect marriage or just a wonderful marriage and a great partner and things like that, and this counts for men or women, that if you're dealing with somebody who is a manipulator or a narcissist, they will play on that. So if you have that vulnerability, especially for us who are empaths, who maybe growing up, we didn't get a lot of love, we didn't get a lot of affection, we didn't get a lot of nurturing, and we dreamed of one day having a wonderful family, children, all of that different stuff. People who are manipulators, especially narcissists, they can sense those vulnerabilities and they will play on that. And that's where you get a lot of the future faking, love bombing, triangulation, etc. that happens with narcissists. So this is something that's really important to note. So if you're not familiar with narcissism, if you have dealt with a partner that has narcissism, basically one of the key things that they will do is what's called love bombing and future faking. And so what basically happens there is they, at the very beginning, will come off very strong. They will pretend like they're going to be a perfect partner to you, like they're going to be everything I've ever wanted. And they're also going to potentially fake a future with you as if they want to have all the things that you want to have. And they're going to use this in order to bring you in and get you to form an attachment to them. So this is something that's really, really important to know, because if you have those feelings of feeling like you're not happy single, or feeling like you don't have happiness with not being in a relationship or having a family, things like that, they will use that in order to try to potentially manipulate you. So that's something that's really, really important to know. So enjoying being single is about more than just wanting to have a great time and have fun and live your best life. It's also about protecting yourself from vulnerabilities, which people who are manipulative may try to exploit. At this point in life, with how we are and with society, it's all about, if you're a manipulator, trying to find vulnerabilities to exploit. So guard your emotions, protect yourself, and also be happy without having, as we talked about, to feel like you need to rely on other people and things like that. So with that being said, if you are single, you are in the greatest position ever. This doesn't get enough credit. There is so much talk about, how do you find a husband? How do you find a wife? How do you start a family? And oh, they've got it all. They started a family. Like, there is very little support to what it's like basically being not only single, but how awesome that actually is, and embracing it, as opposed to fighting it. So many people want to fight it, like, especially there are a lot of guys that they don't like being bachelors, women. They, oh, I want to be a mom, I want to have a family. It's like, look at the advantages that you have. If you're a woman and you've never had children, you've never been married, there's a very good chance that you have a snatch figure, that you have all of your extra spending cash for yourself, that you can go anywhere that you want, when you want to go. You can buy anything that you want for yourself. You don't have to ask for permission. If you want to just pick up and move to Thailand or Australia or Venezuela or whatever, you can just go. Unless you have a bunch of pets and stuff like that. But even they can go too. You just might have to get a kennel for a little while and then have them come later or something like that. But there's so much that you can do. You can start any career that you want. If you want to go and become a nurse or a doctor, a lawyer, go do it. You can date, you can flirt, you can hang out with whoever you want to hang out with, and you don't have to feel guilty about it. You meet somebody you like and you're like, I'm going to spend the night and hang out and watch movies. You can just do it, right? You cannot do that if you have a family at home. That would make you a terrible person, right? So these are things that are fantastic advantages that people don't really embrace. So much emphasis is put on the importance of having a family, getting married, doing it as quickly as possible. Not very much importance is put on how awesome it is to embrace your life. And there's a thing called a life cycle. Very good chance that even though you may be single as heck right now, that at some point you are going to end up in a serious long-term relationship and even possibly married. Even if it's something that you think right now is not going to happen and is very unlikely, chances are in 8 months or 8 years or whatever, you're going to be like, wow, I have a totally different life now. And you are going to miss the time that you have right now single. I promise you that. And I'm going to talk about the unpopular truths right now. There's a very strong possibility that whoever you get with, whoever you're married to, you're going to be bored with them. After about a year or so, after 6 months, 3 months, you may still love them. You may still, of course, be loyal. And hopefully you are loyal. But there's a very good chance you're going to be bored. If you are in here and you're hanging out, please go ahead and give this video a like by double tapping the screen and or by clicking the like button. Thank you so much. You're going to get bored after 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever. It doesn't mean that you won't stay together. It doesn't mean that you won't be in a good relationship with them. But, you know, that's just what it is. It's not going to be as exciting. In the beginning, like, what I find is when you first go to get into a relationship, at first it seems like, oh, if we just become official, everything is going to be great. Everything is going to be perfect. And then it switches into, if they just ask me to marry them, And then it's, oh, if we just get married, everything will be great. And then it's, oh, if we just have children, everything will be great. Okay, I've never been married, I've never had children. But I can tell you the thought process. And at every single stage, you think it's going to get better. It doesn't get better. It's the same. It might, there'll be the thrill at the very beginning, like, oh my gosh, they asked me to be their girlfriend. Oh my gosh, they want to get married. And then that excitement will wear off quickly and the reality will set in. Okay? If you meet someone that you are sure you want to be with for the rest of your life, and they want to be with you for the rest of their life, and you want to start a family with them, and you want to give up your previous life and start a new one with them, that is amazing. If you do not have that right now, do not feel bad or stressed out. I feel like as a woman, they try to put so much, and please don't be a shadow viewer. If you're in here watching, please go ahead and double tap the screen. If not, I'm about to end this live and start over and reset. So, okay. I don't care for shadow viewers. It's kind of like weird. So, 5, 4, thank you so much for liking the live. So I used to feel really, well, never mind. We'll just switch on and move on to another subject because I forgot what I was saying. But in general, there's so much shame that is put on people who are single, and they want you to feel like you're missing out on something. You're not missing out on anything. Again, if you want to do it, have fun. There's another topic I really want to talk about too with that, is that a lot of times if you are living your best life and you are having a lot of fun and you're having a blast and you're free and you're going out and you're looking good and you're feeling good, there's a very strong possibility you may meet someone who sees that freedom and they want you to become attached to them. And I've been in that situation before, and I'm going to tell you, be careful with that one. These are people that will say anything to you in order to get you to be in a relationship with them because they want you to be attached to them, because they don't like the fact that you're free and happy and having fun without needing a man or needing a woman or needing a relationship or whatever. There are people that are really threatened by that, unfortunately. You not needing it. You not pouring out all of that emotion and feeling sad when you see people getting married or you see babies. You not feeling sad is a threat to them, because they want you to feel like you need to be with them in order to be happy. And if not, they feel like they're not as important. They like having that control and that power over your life. This is something that I've seen big time. So let me explain it. When you're going out on a date with a guy, somebody... We got some shadow viewers. I think I'm about to go through and end this live and start over fresh. Because it's just kind of a weird, creepy vibe. I'm going to go ahead and start fresh now that I've gathered my thoughts and I have my, I kind of know what I'm going to talk about a little bit more and get some. Hi. You got the algorithm is hilarious. I was just about to hit click off, and then here you guys go. Hi, how are you? I notice the more negative I am when I'm like, nobody's going to come. Nobody's going to say hi. Forget this. I'm out. That's when I get sent people. But when I'm all excited, I'm like, okay, yeah. It's weird how that works. Hi, Helena. How are you? Thank you, Nazia. Oh, thank you, Helen. Pretty name. There was this person that I met a few years back. And you could say, is he a narcissist? I don't think he was a narcissist. I definitely think he was what they call DL. But that's a whole nother story. So, long story short, I met this guy, and I was totally free, having fun, living my best life. I was open to a relationship, but I was very clear on what I wanted. I'm like, if we get into a relationship, I want to get married, have a family. This is why I was very structured, especially, highly analytical about how I approached it. If not, we'll just hang out, we'll have fun, go out, whatever. But I want like clear lines, basically. If you don't want the same thing as me, that's totally okay. I just want to be on the up and up. And I could tell that this is a long story, but I could tell that he wasn't really the type of guy that wanted to get married and have a family and stuff like that. But I thought, I enjoy your company. Let's have fun. Let's hang out. Maybe we could do activities, be acquaintances or whatnot. Perfect. He then started basically begging me to start a family with him. I want to get married. I want to build a life with you. I want you to meet my family. And I'm like, dude, no, you don't. It turns out it was because he was frustrated with me not being attached. He wanted me to feel attached. He wanted me to feel like not be able to say, oh yeah, if you don't want to be in a relationship, that's fine. He wanted me to be needy. Like, why don't you want to be with me? Do you want to get married? I want to have a But my attitude was, if you're not ready, if you don't want to be in a relationship or a marriage, then I don't want to be with you because I want somebody who actually wants the same thing that I want. That type of maturity he was not ready for. So be careful of those type of people who they're really after control. Because he then started playing like a series of like weird games with me to try to get me attached to him and to try to get me to trust him, knowing he didn't actually want to be in a relationship. And this is not uncommon. I've heard other women go through similar stories to this. So be really careful. If you're really enjoying your singlehood and you're having fun and you're having a great time, that some people may resent you not needing them. Because you have some guys, like he was always that guy, and he kind of made it clear by accident, that had a bunch of women in the past who were like, I want to be married, I want to get engaged, I want to be my boyfriend. And he was always that guy who was like, I'm not ready yet, we'll see. But having the girl kind of like chase him and, want him. And I was doing the exact opposite. I'm like, let's hang out, let's have fun, I know what I want. We'll both find what we're looking for, so let's just enjoy each other's company. He didn't like that at all. He didn't like me not chasing him, so he tried to manipulate me into chasing him. And this happens, so be careful with that. You said exactly, some people will resent you for not needing them, romantic or not. Exactly. Those are people, they just want to have that sense of being chased. It makes them feel in control and powerful, and they resent you being able to walk away. That's the bottom line. They resent you being able to just say, you're important. I like you, but I don't need you. I like you, but I can have fun without you. If you don't like me, I'll go date somebody else. It's not a big deal. I have noticed that a lot of guys do not like that. Okay? They will resent you for it. So be careful with that. Please watch the movie Carmen, by the way. If you guys haven't seen it, this is the old one, the Carmen, like 1950 or 1960 with Dorothy Dandridge, Harry Belafonte. That movie is the best tutorial and guide on understanding narcissism. Without it being a movie that's specifically about that, it's completely about that. This is like the most must watch. If you watch that one movie, you will understand narcissism at an extremely high level. And that's because narcissism is something that's been in our culture for centuries. This isn't, a new thing. And it's been talked about through different folklore and movies and things like that over the years. But basically, long story short, without giving away any spoilers, it's a movie of a woman who's most definitely a narcissist. And she basically sees this guy who doesn't want her, who isn't chasing her. So she plots to get this guy to chase her. And I don't want to spoil the movie. Should I spoil the movie if you haven't seen it? One of the greatest theatrical pieces ever made. But basically, it goes through the entire cycle of narcissism, how they find their victims, how they target people, gameplay, manipulation, the music, the lyrics, it's a musical, the script, everything is to the T exactly a relationship with a narcissist, and it helps you to understand what they go after. But basically, she wanted this guy because he didn't want her, but she had very bad intentions for him. So please watch that movie if you haven't seen it already. Best piece on narcissism ever. And I actually thought about I might do a video on that later because it's so deep. But in general, be careful of that, male or female. You know, if you're independent, you're living your best life, that sometimes there will be people who don't like you, not needing them. Being able to say, I'm attracted to you, but I don't need to be with you. If you don't like me, I don't like you. That's another thing that will trigger a lot of times a lot of narcissists. So be careful with that. Be careful with that. What else do I want to add on to that? There's so many cool stories about interacting with these people. If you have any questions, let me know. But yeah, here are a few things that you could probably try to do. Thank you, Natsia. If you are single and you're married, no children, you know, male or female, get into the best shape you can get into, buy great clothes, look your best, go to places that you always wanted to go to, travel, go to resorts. Some people go to cruises, have fun, dress up, flirt. Make sure that you flirt if you want to flirt. If you don't want to be involved in romantic relationships, it's okay. Last year, I don't know if I'm ready to tell this story yet, but I went out with like a model. It was actually a pretty crazy story of how we met. And I thought, you know, I just want to do something light. I just want to go somewhere light, just have a nice day, and hopefully make out with him. And that's what happened. We went out to like a really nice play. It was great. Kissed him afterwards. He asked me out again. It was awesome. And I said no, right? Even though he was cool, I could just tell I didn't want things to get too much. But it was awesome. It was fun. And I'm also laughing. Party's gonna tell this story because I told him never to watch my YouTube channel. He's like, I'm gonna watch it. So every time I tell some of these stories, I'm like, a lot of poltergeist. So, you said, can I please shed light on how to read someone's aura, how they are pretending to be a good person? Well, there's a lot of ways to read people. What do you mean by, as far as their body language, or as far as like emotionally, or, because I've got some interesting stories about that. What specifically in dating? Okay, where should we start? The main thing that you're going to look at is how you feel when you're around the person. If something feels off, something is off. Simple as that. Assuming there's no, you know, pre-judging them or something like that. If you feel really like a fearful energy or uncomfortable, like something feels off, something feels really strange or dark, you're right. It's your body screaming at you. Our subconscious mind is so smart. I rely on my subconscious mind a lot. The subconscious mind can pick up 10,000 of times more information than your conscious mind. So your subconscious mind is picking up everything. It has complete memory, recall, and it knows this person is a manipulator. But it's about kind of relaxing, trusting your body, being in tune, and asking your subconscious mind to reveal it to you. And specifically, if you ask them certain questions, they'll start telling on themselves. They'll start showing their real intent, and you'll feel it as well. You said narcs are brutal. Um, Hi, revolutionary man. Yes, narcissists are, if you have dealt with a narcissist and have overcome, congratulations. It takes so much strength and so much resilience that it is unbelievable, because it's a lot deeper than people think. A lot of people think, oh, just break up. But it's not a normal breakup. There are so many levels in it. And if you are unsuccessful, you can literally lose your entire sense of self. And I've seen it happen to people. That's part of the reason why I do this, is because I don't want to see that happen to other people. People that are so vibrant, so full of life, so talented, can do anything, and they become like, whoa, you don't even, I don't want to put too much emphasis on that, but they can make people lose their whole sense of self. Professor Sam Bakken, Dr. Sam Bakken, talks a lot about this. He's the OG. I think I want to say something about him really quick. He created this entire niche. Okay. He's one of the pioneers. There were 2 or 3 of them. It was Sam Bakken and some other people. I watched a few of his videos all the way back in 2011. So he kind of created the whole niche of talking about narcissism, different types of psychological stuff, relationships. And he has some really good stuff on particularly psychopathy as well. So, but yeah, I revisited his stuff recently, and I'm like, man, he has some really good points. So, but I like his approach. Is very thorough, very academic. And so, but he had brought up something about how essentially they want to peel back the layers to where you don't even trust your own thoughts anymore. If you deal with a narcissist, you don't trust your worldview, you don't trust your reality anymore, to get you to a point to where you don't even know who you are, and you go into pure survival mode and become just like them. So he went into a lot of details about that, but that's also what I've observed, is that people can lose their entire sense of self when they deal with a narcissist or someone similar to that. But a lot of times family, friends, everyday people won't understand it, because maybe they haven't dealt with a narcissist before. It's 1% to 2% of the population, 2% to 3%, depending on where you're at. It could be more depending on what industry or profession, etc. But it's it may challenge you on almost every level, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, etc. I also want to bring up another point about them, which is narcissists are the easiest people in the world to manipulate, in my opinion. So for those who want their ex-narc back, it's very easy. And I try not to give out information on that, because I don't think that they're safe people to be around, but they follow a lot of patterns, and they will always come back. If you want to be with one, you can be with one, but hopefully you won't want to. Hopefully you're at a point where you don't miss them anymore, you don't want them anymore, because it's forever going to be about them draining energy from you, trying to make you sad, and building up off of your energy, or leveling up or feeling better off of your energy. You basically become their battery, and without you, when you pull back from them, it's like everything comes crumbling down for them very quickly, in fact. So yes, a lot of times once you cut them off, you feel better, everything feels great, and there they go again. So, but if you really are kind of diabolical about it, not only can you get a narcissist, but you can get an even hotter one than the last one, a wealthier one than the last one, or whatever. But hopefully that's not your goal, right? Can you do it? Yes. Narcissists are extremely easy to manipulate. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'll probably head off in just a couple of minutes. But yeah, They are easy to manipulate, but depending on the type of narcissist, some of them, not all of them are dangerous. Of course not, but some of them are. So just in case, I never encourage going back to a narcissist to get revenge or to try to one-up them. And you want to know the crazy part about it is, even if you one-up them, a part of them is an empty shell. So it's like, what's the point? You know, prove a point to them, gain a get back. You know, and plus they work in manipulation. Right. And I need you to understand too, usually when I talk about narcissism, this is the I usually the narcissists that I have studied and dealt with, most of them have been male. I study usually higher level ones per se, closer to the psychopathy range for my case studies. And a lot of the academic studies have been done on male specifically as well. So if you're looking for advice on like women and ex-girlfriends and stuff like that, I notice a lot of the men convolute the issue. Not saying you, but it might be for them a girl that was disinterested, or they read her the wrong way, or long story short, they will say, well, she was a narcissist. She was a narcissist. And they throw that around. And it's actually not a narcissistic dynamic in the relationship. It might have been someone who had some narcissistic traits, but it wasn't a full-blown narcissist empath dynamic toxic relationship. And that's been a big thing lately. I do agree that people throw around the term too much and mean it sometimes just to describe people that just didn't like them or weren't interested in them. That's a whole different topic. How do you know the difference? A narcissist typically is going to love bomb you. They're going to tell you that they're in love with you. They want to start a family with you, or they're going to treat you as if you're their dream person. They may even tell you that you're their dream person. You're all they've ever wanted. That's going to be a strong dynamic. If you didn't see that, if there wasn't love bombing or love flooding in the relationship, you probably weren't dealing with a narcissist. You might have been dealing with another type of manipulator, but not necessarily a narcissist. But that's an energy that's been very strong the last few years, where there are a lot of people who, it's not that the person was a narcissist that they were dealing with. It's actually, it was a person that was really disinterested, that never told them they wanted to be with them or wanted to have a relationship or even showed them that type of a vibe. But because she was not interested and she was kind of doing her thing, and maybe she treated them like they weren't that important to her, because she did have a lot of options. Because she did have a lot of options, they basically saw her as, oh, she's a narcissist. It's like, she's not a narcissist, or he's not a narcissist because they were just disinterested, or they were busy, or they had a lot of things going on. So that's something very important to know, is to always make that clear distinction. Thank you so much for the likes. Make the clear distinction, because a narcissist is someone that pretty much promises you the world. It could be just 1 day or 2 dates of them doing it. Sometimes love flooding stage is short, but they promise you the world and then they start playing games with you. So, we should go out to Paris. I'm going to fly you. Let's go together. It's going to be so much fun. Oh, we're going to check out this and that. And it'll sound so wonderful. And then all of a sudden, you go to get ready like they tell you to. And then they start playing weird games and triangulating you. And, oh, I'm going to go with my friends. And just weird stuff, you know. So that's how you'll basically know. But if you just have a lot of options and you don't go out with everybody that wants to go out with you, and you're polite and you're upfront, you're not a narcissist. You know, there are those people too. They're just polite. They're upfront. Hey, this is what I'm looking for. If we're not a match, we're not a match. Or no, thank you, I'm not interested. That's not a narcissist. That's just somebody who maybe just isn't interested. That clear distinction has to be made. But yeah, that's how a lot of this ended up getting kind of blurred, unfortunately, with manosphere and men versus women, and they ended up taking one thing and muddling it with a bunch of other issues, and that can be very confusing to people. It's also not helpful, though. All right, so let me see. Before I head off, are there any last things I wanted to say? Yes. Be careful now that you have your independence, that you're free, that you're living your best life, that you're starting to feel better, that you're enjoying your life, that you're happy, that you're doing the things that you love again. Be careful that there are people that are going to see that in you and be very attracted to it. This is the most important thing I've said on this tape. They are going to be attracted to that. And not always for the right reasons. So be careful, because that's very attractive when you are living your best life like that. That it is going to bring people in who may not necessarily want to be with you. They just don't want to see you with anybody else. They don't necessarily want to date you for real, for real. They just want to have you tied down and don't like seeing you have that type of freedom where you're going to put on your bikini, or if you're a guy, walk around the beach and show your new muscles and just have fun and have drinks and martinis and flirt. They don't want you in that energy. So be careful of that, because some of them may try to get in a relationship with you, not because they like you, but because they want to see you sad and at home. They want to see you sad at home, bitter, when you have the greatest opportunity you've ever had in your entire life. Being single, free, if you don't have children, especially, and being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it, start new careers, go back to school, what am I going to upload? I just uploaded a video, like an hour ago. Yeah, like an hour ago, where I talk about the joys of singlehood. Yep. I go into a little bit more details about it. Hopefully you get a chance to check it out. But the fact that you are single, and if you are single without children on top of that, you can spend all of your money on yourself. You can start new jobs. You can travel the world. You can explore your passions. You can foster animals. You can go feed people around the world that need help. You can go build stuff. You can create art. You can start new careers. You can dance. You can do whatever you want. And you can still flirt. And you can flirt guilt-free. You can still go out on dates. You can still have fun. You can still meet new people. And you can have the time of your life. So don't feel like you are missing out, because you're not. The narcissist, if you were with a narcissist prior, which a lot of you were, they don't want you to be in that energy. I can assure you that. They want you to be at home, bitter, sad, hurt, feeling like it's all. Remember, there are billions of people in the planet. And you'd be surprised how quickly you can go out and meet people without even trying. Just go have fun. The narcissist doesn't want you to know that, though. They want all that stuff about hermit mode and isolation mode. It's good to do what you need to do, but the narcissist, they want you to stay in that mode. They want you to stay in healing mode, isolation mode, hermit mode, away from people, away from the world, because they don't want you to go out and realize, wait, I can do all this different stuff and I can have fun. They don't want you to realize that. Thank you so much for the likes. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you have any questions, about to head off in literally 1 minute, but I feel like there are some things that I am forgetting on here, so I'll be back at some point, probably, if I remember. Well, I will remember what they are, but I'll go live again or make a video. Well, probably go live again pretty soon Oh, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. And I'll try to cover those as well in the next live. Thank you so much. But yeah, embrace what you have, reframe it. No, you do not need to be in a relationship to be happy. And no, you don't need to swear off relationships either. Just if you meet someone great and you guys, you really like them and they like you, and go for it. But at the same time, there's nothing worse than being in the wrong relationship. That is the worst feeling ever. So obviously don't be in a hurry. That way you can take your time, enjoy your life, build up an amazing life, have fun, and to meet the person that you want. If you're looking to go back to school, I might do one on education, on what are like the best career occupations. A couple of you I know are looking to go back to school or want to start college for the first time, even as adults. You could be 45, 50 years old. We need more nurses, especially for those who are trying to rebuild their lives. Become a nurse. Mind you, I do have one of my degrees is in economics as well. I have my 5 degrees. And that's what, if people are worried about their future and they're trying to rebuild, they want to go back to school, they're not sure what for. Right now, I would say definitely get into nursing or biomedical. And you can, depending on where you live, have great occupation, very rewarding, lots of extra money, have fun, and they have like unlimited overtime usually for that job. So, yeah, so that's a great field. So I know somebody needed to hear that because I've been picking that up very strongly lately. Nursing. Have a great rest of the night. Talk to you later. And until next time, thank you so much for hanging out and watching.